This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by the National Rifle Association. From the CZ Studios.
They're never going to stop us here.
Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Greg, last night the final words I said to you were, I'll see you soon. I'll see you too soon.
You're right about that.
Welcome in, guys. How are you?
Here we are.
Here we are. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense begins right now, the Monday edition. Andy Hooser will be joining us in just a moment, our regular guest on a Monday. We love Andy Hooser. We love all things Andy Hooser. Weather talk, UFO talk, anything we want to talk because we can. Because Andy Hooser's a talk radio host. I'm a talk radio host. We just talk. And we'll go to some very weird places today from the gun rights perspective, Greg. I found a couple things that I want to talk with Andy about that we didn't get into last night, which will be fun to get into today with the voice of reason. But we are live on Facebook today here in the CZ studios. Mark Walters in front of the Patriot Mobile mic. It's all brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Facebook.com. You can watch us over there. Greg, you can tell us, that's Facebook.com/Armed American Radio. And Greg, you can tell everybody else where to watch us, and we can get in on the chat and all that fun stuff. We'll get cracking.
Sure. Other places to watch the show are going to be YouTube and Rumble. Just do a search for Armed American Radio with Mark Walters. At X, we're at AAR Mark. You can also head over to armedamericanradio.org or .com. Hit that menu icon and then select your watch live or listen live options. To join the live chat, just download Telegram, create your profile, and search for Armed American Radio Conversations.
Boom, pow, zam. That'll get you in. I have too many monitors going in here. I've got two going up on the walls and one over in the corner of the screen, and it's quite distracting. So let me go focus on Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Andy Hooser, how you doing, brother?
What's up, man? Hey, happy Monday. Ready to rock and roll for another one.
No UFOs today.
No UFO. Oh, that makes me sad.
No.
No UFOs today.
No, I do want to know, is it as hot up there as it is down here?
Oh, no. Today is beautiful. Today is 66 degrees and rainy, and I am loving it. Yesterday was about 60. Oh, man. Yesterday was 65 and sunny. I tried to come outside a little bit, but yeah, it is supposed to be no higher than like 75 all week long. And in fact, I'm actually going to Colorado at the end of this week for a vacation. And up in the mountains where I grew up, I saw one of my friends post, they had 5 inches of snow over the weekend. And I am so excited.
Come back with a new bear story.
Oh, that's right. That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. That's when I first moved to Kansas, when I lived in Garden City 10 years ago.
Yeah,
12 years ago, actually.
I can't believe that was a long time ago we heard that story. I won't bore you with that, ladies and gentlemen. One of these days we'll pull that clip. We have it in there somewhere. Yeah, Andy. So how was your weekend? Good?
It was all good, man. Yeah, getting ready. This is my first vacation I've taken in about 10 years, so I'm excited. So we've been kind of prepped for that. And yeah, I mean, obviously with so much news going out, it's hard to step away from all of the headlines and everything breaking all the time. But it's man, we're moving in such the right direction. We are.
It's incredible.
Seeing a nation come back, it's incredible. I love the lunacy from the other side, just so angry and losing their mind about everything. But yet, if they didn't like it, they could have fixed it for so long, and they never have. And I'm not just talking about the last 4 years. I'm talking about the last probably 30 or 40 or 50 years where all of these issues could have been fixed and adjusted, but they haven't. And now they're complaining when they're actually being taken care of. And the entire progressive social experiment is completely disseminating right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, we're gonna go to some of the disintegration in just a couple minutes. I do want to point this out because it's fun. Adam Shifty Schiff, man, I tell you what, these people are just unbelievable. The volume of lies that come out of their mouths. Schiff tweeted yesterday, late last night, maybe very early this morning, when Donald Trump's FBI raids John Bolton's home, it's a signal to any of his opponents, to all of his detractors. If you stand up to this administration, you could be next. To save our democracy, we must reject these tactics of an aspiring dictator. It was okay when they raided Mar-a-Lago and they went through Melania's underwear drawer, okay? No dictator on that side. Nobody's screwing up or ruining our democracy at that point because it was Trump. These people are incredulous, Andy. And, you know, every time I see something tweeted from Shifty Schiff, I just tweet a picture of an orange, and it says "Think Orange," because the guy's going to jail at some point. I feel certain about that. This guy's in trouble, and I can't wait to see him go away.
Yeah, he is a menace. He got his 15 minutes in the limelight when he led the impeachment process on Donald Trump, when he was a House member in the first term, which he should be retracting now that we've proven the fact that all these documents have been released, that the entire Russian hoax was completely fabricated, that it was from the DNC, it was from Obama, it was from the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation. The FBI knew that when they accepted it because they were told to accept it. All of it was fake, and he got his 15 minutes of the limelight when he became a national sensation, when he led the House impeachment movement against Donald Trump. So he's already a fraud from that manner, but you're right. I mean, this guy, he's going to probably be in trouble here relatively soon. They don't think, and they don't grasp the idea that just because you go on social media and you say something enough times, that doesn't retract the legality of what you've done or not have done as an elected official and as a human being. So, I mean, he's going to be in trouble relatively soon. But yeah, all these attacks about how, the National Guard's coming for you, we're taking your rights away because he's an authoritarian, and how Donald Trump's doing this. I mean, he can say whatever he wants to, but I don't understand the pushback from John Bolton with his raid. I mean, John Bolton has spoken out against Donald Trump, but I mean, he wasn't a malicious guy against him. So to think it was some type of revenge raid doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Revenge against what? Saying a couple nasty things about Donald Trump on TV in an interview? Like, there's so many people that have done that. What would be a revenge against something like that? That doesn't make any sense. Personally, for me, you can put on the tinfoil hat for just a moment. I think it's more than just a collection of of classified information, which is what they said it was predominantly about. But JD Vance did an interview the day of the raid, and it said that there was more to it with a deeper investigation about some criminality. To be honest, I've been saying on my show for a while, I think there are agents within the United States that want to keep the conflict between Russia and the Ukraine going, even though Donald Trump's trying to bring peace to it, because I don't know, fill in the blank. The military-industrial complex is losing money because there's no wars going on.
It's a money machine.
Yeah,
it's a money machine. Look,
well, exactly. And John Bolton, of course.
We get a little bit of the Twilight
we got
Zone
the conspiracy.
We got it.
Yeah.
On the show.
That's right. But with John Bolton, he's a former U.S. ambassador. He's a foreign policy advisor that's been there for decades. If there's anybody that has contacts with foreign entities to want to keep drama or conflict going, it would be him. And my conspiracy right now is the fact that he's one of them working against the Trump administration behind the scenes to keep that conflict going. And maybe that's one of the reasons why they're raiding him, because maybe he's involved somehow.
We will likely never know. Sadly.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm afraid we might not.
We might find out.
With him, maybe with Bolton, we might find out. We might find out with Schiff and a few others. Letitia James, her whole $457 million against Trump tossed out. The rights or the wrongs are being righted here little by little. But Bolton, I agree with you on that. Bolton's outspoken critic, just a TDS suffer that went on, MSDNC, CNN, LOL, ABC, and NBC, so we could all CBS talk crap about Trump. No big deal. Lots of people do that. Trump can handle that. I don't think that was the issue with him. There's something underlying that. I think you're right. With Bolton, we're probably going to get to the bottom of it, and there have been some people that said that is, in fact, going to come out, and those that are saying it's retribution will be sorely upset when they find out what it's all about. So there's something going on. But to get back to Schiff for a second, for him to retract anything would require honesty, and he's not an honest human being. He's one of the dirtiest liars this country's ever produced. He doesn't have a shred of honesty in his body at all. The guy's a flat-out liar. And so much so, I don't even know if he knows it anymore.
Right.
I mean, he really is suffering from some weird disease. Liberalism is one of them. It's not the only one. He's got multiple diagnoses going on, but it would require some honesty that he doesn't possess.
But here's the thing, Mark. Both with Adam Schiff and with John Bolton, this goes hand in hand. This is the sign, and I said this on the weekend program, is that both of them are a prime example of the battle against the deep state that's right before our eyes. We are actually, for the first time, little by little, like you mentioned, cleaning out the deep state like we've never done before. When we have the raid on John Bolton, which is a shock and awe for people that are like, oh, wow, John Bolton's been in the system for a really long time. When Tulsi Gabbard fires 50% of intelligence agents in her DNI office, which is insane. When Pete Hegseth is firing people from the Department of Defense, we are seeing right now, before our eyes, everybody that wanted to hit a reset button on the deep state, the establishment, whatever, that this is the biggest cleansing of the federal government from deep state agents that are fighting against these heads of the cabinet, fighting against the Trump administration more so than we've ever seen before. Instead of fighting against them internally, we're just letting them go. And this is a big cleansing right now. It's kind of fun to watch.
It's huge fun to watch. And here's the deal as we go to the break. I've been asked this before, and I've mentioned this on this program many, many times. And people say, how did this country get to this point? It was simple. It's not a difficult answer. It doesn't require a PhD. It just took 250 years of Washington to corrupt itself, and we happen to be living through that time period. Thank God Donald Trump is cleansing it, and the deep state can't stand it. When we come back, we're going to the the Florida wreck. Don't go away. That's what I get for reading 2 screens at one time. The following segment of Armed American Radio's Daily Defense is being brought to you by Patriot Mobile. Visit patriotmobile.com/AAR and use the AAR promo code to get free activation today. Welcome back to the show. Yeah, this is my Patriot Mobile. If you're watching on any of your devices, Patriot Mobile phone, you can do the same thing. patriotmobile.com/AAR. Use that promo code at that site right there. It'll pop up for you automatically when you go to that site. You can either go there yourself at patriotmobile.com/AAR, or you can just visit Patriot Mobile at my website, armedamericanradio.com, and you'll find it. And when you do that, you'll get a free month, and you can activate your phones one at a time. Get that question a lot. I don't want to have to change service. It's really simple to do, ladies and gentlemen. It's not the headache you think it is, and you'll never switch once you do it. I promise you. patriotmobile.com/AAR. Get a free month and move your phones over, and they give you credit for up to $500 if you still owe money on your phones. So if you move 4 phones over, you get a $2,000 credit. You won't be paying a phone bill for a long time. PatriotMobile.com. Welcome back inside the CZ studios with me, Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom. It's all brought to you by the National Rifle Association on the Patriot Mobile phone. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome back, brother. So how far are we falling in this country? Oh, boy, I tell you, it's discouraging. Now, Andy, you know what happened to my daughter last week, right? On Thursday, she was hit by an illegal immigrant and her car was destroyed. Did you know that?
I was not aware of that.
Yeah,
Holy
I don't
cow.
think we told Andy yet.
Yeah, Andy, I don't. Yeah, that's right. I can't believe I didn't send you. I'll send you the photographs when we get off air during a break. She's lucky to be alive. Her car was destroyed. A guy had a driver's license from the state of Illinois, because Illinois, Washington, Oregon, California, they give illegal aliens driver's licenses. And this is the end result. She's lucky to be alive. Let me put it this way, as a dad, he's lucky she's not hurt as well. But they cuffed him and hauled him off. Don't know what happened to him, and at this point don't care. So we're having to deal with the aftermath of that. And she is just sore as all get out from head to toe now. Probably will be for the next week or so. But this comes on the heels of, and I screwed up and said Michigan. I was looking at 2 different screens. But this comes on the heels of that horrible wreck in Florida on the Turnpike near Yeehaw Junction last week. And this guy killed 3 people in a minivan when he swung an illegal Huey. Did you see Change.org has nearly 2.5 million signatures on a petition supporting this clown, calling it it's just a tragic accident. Now, what is that, without going into any more detail, what does that tell you about where we are as a nation? Because I can promise you I know who signed that petition. And it's all lefty goofballs.
Right.
What does that say?
Yeah, it is. It's an indication that we are so deluded into what reality actually is that we stick more on ideological lines than actually open our eyes to look at what's out there. It's almost like now we understand the world more through a social media feed or through a book than we do actually walking outside, and the book tells us that the sky is blue, but you don't understand it until you actually go and witness it. I mean, that's where we're really where we're at in society. And I've kind of made the analogy of, we're in the information wave right now with technology. I mean, you can get on Google, you can search anything that you want to, and you can search anything that you want to, and you will get any information that you possibly want. But now we've lost the ability to put it into context, to understand it, and how to put it into practice in our own lives. And that's where we're at in society today, which is why, shows like this and what we do are so important, because that's the focus I try to make, at least, is how to now put this information into context to understand how we apply it to our daily life. So these individuals, yes, they are so ideologically driven that when you watch a video of a guy doing a U-turn with a semi wrongfully and it kills an individual, and then you hear and you learn more about the topic. I mean, you were in truck driving for a long time, as an industry for a long time, Mark, so you understand this better than anyone else probably, is that, when you have an entire industry run by individuals that have a hard time speaking English, understanding our rules, understanding what we do here, that are on our roads with very large machinery, that's probably an issue. So for these people, they don't know the trucking industry. They don't know the fact that the majority of these guys cannot speak English and can't understand. They don't understand that he was breaking a law and that he was doing something bad. And I mean, that's when you have these people saying it was just a tragic accident, but he shouldn't be punished for this crime of killing this family that he ended up killing because of this accident. So yeah, I mean, we are losing ourselves as a society because more people would rather have a tunnel vision and are blinders on, the horse blinders on, in order for them to think that they understand the world as opposed to actually know what's really going on.
You know, he was given a driver's license, a CDL, by California. And as I am listening to you, I'm also looking at some comments from the, well, it's not a comment, but it's part of the petition. Quote unquote, this was a tragic accident, not a deliberate act. While accountability matters, the severity of the charges against him does not align with the circumstances of the incident. So let me put this in personal perspective, and thank God my daughter was not harmed. But had she been killed, I can't imagine someone saying that about what someone did to my daughter. Do I believe the guy intended to kill 3 people in a minivan? No, I did not. I don't. He's just did something stupid he shouldn't have done. Intentionally did it, I might add.
Yeah.
And the results were 3 people killed. He shouldn't have had the CDL to begin with, and we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right.
If the guy that pulled out in front of my daughter, forcing her to use the side of his pickup truck as her brake pad, had not gotten a driver's license in Illinois, would he have been in that spot at that exact moment? Don't know. Likely not. Could have changed the outcome. So while it's a tragic accident, you have to define the operative word here is accident.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have had a CDL to begin with in this country. Now, I don't know how many car collisions are deliberate acts. Very few, unless somebody drives
probably not very many.
Yeah.
Unless you drive yourself into a bridge abutment because you want to end it all today, right? That's a deliberate act. But a blowout that swerves you into another lane, flips your vehicle, sends you into an oncoming lane, and somebody else gets hit and people are killed, it's not a deliberate act. So we refer to it as an accident. That's why accident's the operative word here. But in this particular case, you've got somebody that was here that shouldn't have been here, possessing something they shouldn't have possessed, which put them in the position they were in to harm an innocent American. In the case of Florida, 3 individuals. In the case of my daughter, 1.
Right.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not all about that. Throw the book at him.
Yep.
And there's 2.5 million people that feel sorry for this guy. Wouldn't you love to see the makeup of those people? Wouldn't you love to see a photograph of everybody that signed that?
Revoke their visas.
You know, as I said, it's 2.5 million people that ought to be chucked out of here as well, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I would love to
It's
see a photograph of each one of these people. You can tell who signed it.
Right.
Go ahead,
I mean,
Andy.
look, I mean, this is exactly like you said. I mean, this is a preventable issue. Was it an accident? Yes. Did he intend to actually do it? Of course, he didn't intend to do it, to have these 3 people die. At the same time, like you said, if we would have actually had proper rules in place of who can actually have a CDL and actually drive semis in this nation, then we might not be in the situation right now. With your daughter, if this individual had not gotten a driver's license in a state that allows illegal aliens to get driver's license, would she have gotten into an accident at that time? Probably not, or it would have been a completely different situation. So, yeah, I mean, look, we've been, and we can go into the break with this. This goes into the same issue with the crime that we're seeing in nations compared to Washington, D.C. right now. We've been conditioned to think it's okay.
20.
And it's not, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go there, too. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. 2 more segments on a Monday to start your week. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues right after the break. We'll be right back. American Radio is proudly being brought to you by the National Rifle Association. Help us defend freedom by visiting nra.org/AAR and join today. Welcome back to the show. Guys, National Rifle Association, real deal. If you were listening to the program last night, Joseph Greenlee was here, the Director of Litigation Counsel for the National Rifle Association's Institute for Legislative Action, and he was awesome on the program last night. Covered lots of victories. Check this out. NRA is now involved, excuse me, in 60 ongoing suits. 60. It costs money. We need your help, and it's as simple as joining. $35. I'm going to send you a free range bag for a 1-year membership. 5-year membership, you get the same range bag for free. 3-year membership, 5-year or life, we're going to send you the binoculars. NRA.org/AAR. Join us, please. Help us become that 1,000-pound gorilla in the room again, not just the 800 or 900-pound gorilla. We need you back. If you left, if you've never joined, we need you today. Please join us, nra.org/AAR. Welcome back inside the CZ studios. And by the way, you can find all of our great partners over at armedamericanradio.com. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Welcome in, brother.
Yes, sir. I just got those pictures, by the way. Holy cow. I'm glad she's all right. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, that was pretty intense. I honestly, that Kia saved her life. I was blown away by the safety rating on that was really high, and I was shocked that it remained intact. The front end didn't, of course. But the passenger cabin did. Not even any crumpling on the floorboards or anything like that on that collision, which was insane, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I shudder to think what would have happened on that 8-inch lift kit on that truck if I had hit that thing with a vet. Whew. Yeah, so anyway, some interesting comments, Andy, in the chat about, when I said, wouldn't you love to see a photograph of everybody who signed that? And, well, they're putting up some great photographs of men that we think are men that look like women with purple hair and black glasses. I think there seems to be some agreement in there that everybody agrees with us on who likely signed that petition. Angeline says 2/3 probably have blue hair. And Diffster there. Yeah, we know Diffster. I'll talk to you tomorrow, brother. Says most aren't even in the U.S., I think. Yeah, because there's, who knows what kind of bots are on that thing as well. But nonetheless, it's really telling about where we are. That there are people that, I guess it goes back to that it's never happened to one of them or they likely wouldn't sign the petition, right?
Right.
And sometimes it takes a bad thing to happen to somebody to figure out, man, maybe I should carry a gun because I just got robbed or came close to it, or they find themselves in a situation where they could have used a gun, didn't have one, and that changes your mind pretty quick, doesn't it?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, you talk about all the time. Every time there's a shooting, that community sees the largest number of gun purchases afterwards because people didn't realize, again, that it could happen to them. But, Mark, this is the bigger issue, and this goes into these people that, again, are signing this petition, is we've been conditioned to just believe this is the norm. And this is why relating it to like the crime in D.C. and what we've seen with the National Guard and now mobilizing for 19 different states, do I necessarily want military patrolling streets? No, I don't want that at all. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that, those are up to the states, and the state should have done something. But here's the thing.
The Democrats.
At the end of
they put us here.
That's exactly it. Why are we seeing crime rates right now from city leaders, Democrat city leaders that have allowed it to happen for so long? Either clean up your act, because we're paying with our taxpayer money, or they are, regardless of what city that you're in, you're paying your taxpayer money for your city to make sure that you have a safe streets, and you don't. So someone's got to step in and actually do it. But for some reason, we've just been conditioned to just believe, it's a big city, there's going to be crime.
Well, decades. Were you listening to the show last night, Andy? Because we talked about this very
I was not, no.
We talked about this very subject last night. I mentioned this. Great minds think alike, right? We've been conditioned to believe that in big Democrat-run cities, there are just crappy areas of town. In big Democrat-run cities, the trains are covered in graffiti. In big Democrat-run cities, that portion of the town has a bunch of burned-out tenement buildings. In big Democrat-run cities, you don't go over there because it's controlled by gangs and gang violence. That's
and we
not
don't
a safe
have to
area.
live that way.
We don't have. You're absolutely correct about that. We have been conditioned to believe that over decades. Trump comes in and says, no, we don't have to live this way. This is the United States of America. The Democrats have been taking hundreds and hundreds of millions and billions of our dollars for decades. And doing what with it?
Right.
Doing what?
Yeah.
It's certainly not reflected in the cities when you look at the blight they've created with their failed policies. And we are at a tipping point here, Andy. Americans understand this. That's why Trump is elected. That's why Americans are loving what he's doing. Look at the man on the street, quote unquote, and air quote interviews of people in Washington, D.C. There are homeless people they're interviewing and saying, I'm glad he's doing this.
Right.
It's terrible out here. They're victims of crime.
That's it.
Yeah. So it's you know, we are at a point where the pendulum has swung, and I think Americans are on to this. And this is why the Democrats are in such dire straits right now, Andy. They got nothing. They got nobody on the bench. Okay. And that's why
all of their policies, their entire social experiment is failing before our eyes. We are literally seeing the difference between a Democrat-run city like Chicago, New York, LA, and Washington, D.C., run by Donald Trump and the military right now. We're seeing the vast difference. 0 murders in 10 days now, which is a record for Washington, D.C., compared to the tent cities and having to have the poop app when you go to San Francisco, and the homeless and the crime and the drugs and everything else. We don't have to live that way. And it's that prime example. This is a Democrat-run city. This is a Republican-run city right now that's completely different. And people are starting to wake up, and the Democrats are angry because to them, look, I mean, we've said this before as well, the core values, people's core values, their personal beliefs of religion or the way the world is or whatever, their identity, it's a core value to them. And when you challenge a core value, they get very defensive. They get very angry because if you do shake that up, it shakes up every yes.
The trough, baby. It's the trough. It's their money drying up.
That's exactly it.
Now,
their core value is drying up.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to get before this scrolls up in front of me. Texas Huntsman over the chat says, and he just reminded me. I used to say this on the show for years. Show me a city in ruins, and I'll show you a city controlled by Democrats for decades. Texas Huntsman reminded me of my own quote that I used to say on this broadcast for years and years. So thanks for that, brother. I appreciate that. You're right. We're going to have to go back to that. You show me a city in decay is what I used to say. Actually, I believe verbatim, and I'll show you a city controlled by Democrats for decades. And it's true. Every single Democrat-run city in this country, large city, is in dire straits.
And for years, they've told us that we're going to loosen up on law enforcement. We're going to reform the judicial system. We're going to reform the criminal justice system. We're going to rehabilitate people because they're just victims of society. They're victims of oppression. They're victims of the glass ceiling, racism. Exactly. That's all it is. And that's what they've told us, that if we just reform these people and just love them more, then all of a sudden the crime rates will go down. And you can see how well that's actually worked out.
There you go. I was kind of singing behind you there with the blah, blah, blah. It's a joke. And thanks for powering through that, too. I did that intentionally because it's true.
Yeah. Well, and did you see, Donald Trump today just signed an executive order to end a cashless bail. I mean, that's a major step. That's another major hit in this.
You've gone 13 days in Washington, D.C. with nobody being murdered. And the Democrats are forced. They're forced by Trump back on their heels to have to defend their crime-ridden cesspool policies. And it's failing right before their eyes, and they just don't know what to do about it, which is interesting because we'll take this to the break, and when we come back, we're going to go here. But you have let me see where is it? Well, I'll pull this. Oh, here it is. It's from the Bulwark. I have no idea who that is. It's just one of my alerts that came in. Did everyone just forget about gun violence prevention? With Robert Shentrup. Now, let me take this to the break.
30.
Tim Miller and Cameron Kasky sit down with Rob Shentrup, a Parkland survivor and Brady organizer, whose sister Carmen was one of the 17 killed. Rob shares his journey from tragedy to advocacy, including his fight for Florida's landmark School Safety Act and red flag laws. Together, they expose the gun lobby's relentless grip on politics, the false promise that guns make us safer, and the toxic culture, wait for it, of hypermasculinity fueling violence. The conversation, golly, it's just so liberal. Oh, good heavens.
Funny.
The conversation also explores how online radicalization targets young men, the Democratic Party's struggles with gun control, and bold new strategies for prevention and common safety. We're going to break that down when we come back. Don't go away.
This break brought to you by Hypermasculinity.
This segment is brought to you by Attorneys on Retainer. Get the only self-defense program for gun owners backed by a real law firm, the Attorneys for Freedom. Visit them online at attorneysonretainer.us. Welcome back. Guys, it's real easy to do, okay? Don't be one of these people that gets caught with your pants down, all right? attorneysonretainer.us/AAR, and you can have the card that I'm holding up in front of the cameras if you're watching, and that's my Attorneys on Retainer membership card, because I have attorneys on retainer in my hip pocket. So do my son, my daughter, and my wife, and many, 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 many thousands of you around the country are smart enough to have figured this out. If you carry a gun for self-defense and you have to use that gun, there is likely going to be an investigation. You are not entitled to attorney during the investigation. But if you have one, all the better. And if there's charges leveled, you're going to wish you had this, because that's not the time you want to be shopping for a great attorney, folks. Trust me on that one. attorneysonretainer.us. Save $50 off the $100 sign-up fee over there. Using the promo code AAR, it's $35 a month. You have a team of attorneys dedicated to one thing and one thing only: self-defense law. Protecting you, keeping you out of trouble. attorneysonretainer.us/AAR. One of those no-brainers, folks. If you haven't done it yet, just do it. It's the best $35 a month you'll spend. And if you do it for a family like I did, it's $25 a head, and you still save the $50 on the sign-up fee. Just get it done. Quit putting it off. Don't procrastinate. Just do it, okay? That's one of those things that you want to have in your pocket. Trust me, if it ever hits the fan, you're going to need it. And you don't want to be looking for it at that time. You don't want the free one that comes away from the state, okay? You don't. Nothing against public defenders, but that's not what you want when your ass is on the line. Let me just put it bluntly to you, all right? You can visit all of our great partners at armedamericanradio.com, including Bud's Gun Shop, Crossbreed Holsters, AmmoSquared.com, Heaven's Harvest. They're all there for you at armedamericanradio.com. Andy Hooser, the voice of reason, welcome back. Final segment with you. So I asked Grok during the break to define hypermasculinity for me. You ready for this? Do we have Andy? Is he there?
Nope. Here I am.
There he is. Okay.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
I asked Grok to define hypermasculinity, and guess what I got? I got some typical, what you would expect, some academic. And hypermasculinity is an exaggerated, often idealized expression of traditional masculine traits, emphasizing extreme strength, aggression, dominance, stoicism, and hypersexuality while suppressing vulnerability, empathy, or emotional expression. It's rooted in cultural norms that overemphasize stereotypical male roles, often portraying men as tough, competitive, and emotionally unyielding. The concept is frequently critiqued in academic and social contexts for promoting toxic behaviors, reinforcing rigid gender roles, and marginalizing men who don't conform. For example, it can manifest itself in the media as the tough guy. Think action hero who never shows weakness, or in real life behaviors like excessive risk-taking or suppressing emotions to appear strong, in quotes. Critics argue it can harm mental health and relationships, while defenders might see it as aspirational or tied to traditional values. Whew.
Yeah.
Did I get my degree for even reading that? I mean, come on. Look, let's go back to what we were talking about. And did we just forget about gun violence prevention? So let's go here. And I don't have to listen to the podcast, which I'm not going to do. I just needed to hear this description to bring it up. I felt it was worth talking about. The gun lobby's relentless grip on politics. First, let's talk about hypermasculinity. Is that a problem? Is that what's making criminals kill people?
Yeah. Apparently, it's just that ultra masculinity. You know, they want to show how macho they are by robbing a convenience store.
Well, Andy, I think you need to become more in touch with your feminine side.
It's true. I got to go to a confession booth for my masculinity.
No, you don't. Just watch videos and pictures of Gavin Newsom sitting all pretty and feminine, and just mimic him. You'll be okay.
I do need his hair. I do want his hair.
You don't need his hair. You don't want his hair. No, you don't. No, you don't. No. So what is the gun lobby's relentless grip on politics? Does that exist?
I mean, no, that doesn't. Look, we have organizations like the Second Amendment Foundation, the NRA. I mean, according to him, he thinks that these special interests are completely controlling the government, which there are special interests, obviously, for everything. So if you want to get technical, we can look at the environmental control that we have on the government when the Sierra Club and the EPA ends up telling the government what to do. There are special interest groups for everything. Of course, there are going to be special interests advocating for rights to keep and bear arms. And by the way, the NRA is the largest special interest group in the nation with over 6 million members. The last number I heard, that could be more by now. So, it's a large industry because we want to make sure that we don't have our rights taken away. Kind of common sense.
The voice of reason. But is it a relentless grip on politics? I guess if you feel like you're on the losing side, it might be. So clearly there's fear in the way this is written. And clearly, the Brady's obviously sense fear. Why? Because there's a pro-gun president in office. And what are they afraid of? Your constitutional rights. Why? Because they don't like guns. Andy, why can't they respect my constitutional rights and still not like guns at the same time and go, I hate guns. I don't own one. But we have a constitutional right to have one. Why doesn't it just stop there?
Yeah.
Why do they have to shove it down my throat?
That's it. To them, freedom is everybody do and believe and act the exact same way. To them, freedom is the holding hands, singing Kumbaya, the open umbrella, the open ideas and accepting everyone, as long as those open ideas are the same ideas as them. If you have a different idea and a conflicting idea, then therefore it's infringing upon their insecurities, and therefore it's tyranny to them. Even if we say, you do you, I do me, I'll defend your right to believe what you want to, let me believe what I want to. To them, our ideas are evil, tyrannical, fascist, racist, sexist, fill in the blank, whatever derogatory terms. So therefore, to them, they are the social justice warriors. They are entitled and mandated to fight against us because our ideas are evil because they're different from their own. So to them, like the whole Antifa, fight fascism, they're going to use fascist mentalities of violence to intimidate others to end fascism because that's their duty, because they don't want another Hitler because of someone that believes differently than what they do.
Well, I have to hand it to them, and I got to give them some applause here because, of course, they are in a fight to save our democracy.
It makes your brain hurt a little bit.
Oh, it's painful, isn't it? You can feel your IQ dropping. But I will tell you this, when I read that, it's written from a defeatist point of view. Did you sense that? The conversation also explores how online radicalization targets young men, the Democrat Party's struggles with gun control, and bold new strategies for prevention and community safety. I would dare say that the Democrat Party's struggles with gun control stem from the fact that they are fighting against our constitutional rights. That's their struggle, is fighting against our rights. So that's why they struggle, because Americans don't like, I almost said a really bad word there, we don't like our rights being okay? And we ain't going to take it no more. Andy Hooser, where can people listen to you and watch you coming up in the next 6 or 7 minutes?
Heck yeah, HooserReason.com. We got a lot of great stuff we're talking about today with the executive orders that were signed today, the banning of flag burning. That'll be an interesting conversation we're going to try and cover on the show today. Always a pleasure. HooserReason.com, and happy Monday to you, Mark. As always, I'm glad your daughter's all right. What a scary thing, man. But we love you. Always fun to do it on a Monday.
I appreciate fellow Talkers Heavy 100, most important talk radio host in America, Andy Hooser, the voice of reason. Thanks, man. I do appreciate you being here every Monday. Oh, boy, guys, I got to tell you, flag burning and all that fun stuff, too. There's a lot going on out there, a lot going on. But so we're going to get up and do it again tomorrow because they don't want us to. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense will be back tomorrow, 4 to 5 Eastern, 1 to 2 Pacific.
20.
And until we meet on the radio tomorrow, you know the routine. Carry on, carry often, carry absolutely everywhere. Never, ever, ever leave your cave without your club. No self-respecting caveman would have ever been caught outside his cave without his club. Enjoy what's left of your day. Love you, and we'll see you on the radio tomorrow.
Do you have a ranch? Hold on a second.
You just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters. Presented by the National Rifle Association. The National Rifle Association on the Armed American Radio Network.
All right, guys. guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate it very much. A lot of work to do behind the scenes. It's a Monday. And, not as far as work goes, it's a Tuesday now. Greg and Dallas, thanks for everything. We appreciate you being here, guys. We'll see you on the radio tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Stay safe.